So yesterday I talked about Jeep Wade and kind of evaluated him and concluded that he should be a very good offensive line coach for Nebraska. But today I wanted to talk about Nebraska's five should be projected starters for Nebraska entering 2026. So without any further ado, let's get straight into it. So right off the bat, we got Justin Evans. Justin Evans, he is listed as the top returning center in college football entering 2026. And that's not something to be taken lightly because, particularly like in the Big Ten and SEC, offensive lines are very, very, very physical. And also, so are defensive lines. They're called the Big Ten for a reason. Just kidding, but you get the point. Like, the Big Ten, SEC, ACC, even, all basically Power 4 offensive linemen, but particularly like in the SEC and Big 12 or Big 10 are very, very competitive and just very good offensive linemen. So, Justin Evans is a very experienced offensive lineman. Okay? That is just the truth. He is. He started 31 out of 38 games. He didn't give up a single sack last year. He only allowed 10 pressures. And considering the fact that's over 13 games where they played actually pretty decent teams, I'd say, or where they played some decent teams, that's a pretty good number to have. So, Justin Evans is certainly the anchor of this offensive line. Now you factor in Jeep Wade's coaching, and that might just take it to the next level. So, we'll see what happens there, but it would be really interesting to see what this offensive line looks like. It should be a good offensive line. So, Justin Evans, I don't even know if he has really any major negatives that I can think of or any cons. Like, he's pros are experienced. He's good at blocking, like run blocking. He's good at stopping or at pass blocking, like not allowing defensive linemen to just push by him. He doesn't allow sacks very often. He didn't allow a single one last year. Only 10 pressures over 13 games. That's pretty darn good. So, yeah, Justin Evans is a very good offensive lineman. And I think he's like the highest rated, he is the highest rated player on Nebraska 27, or College Football 27, that new college football video game that just came out, and he's the highest rated player on our roster. And he's just a good player, and he's one of those players that he's just stuck in Nebraska his entire career, and I'm glad he hasn't transferred. We do need him, and I'm glad he didn't transfer out when Donovan Raiola got fired, because he very easily could have, but I think him, like Elijah Pritchett, who we're about to get to, they both knew that's for the best. So Justin Evans, very good offensive lineman, and I think he's going to be very, very good next year for Nebraska and should be able to keep that same level of skill that he had last year. Let's get to Elijah Pritchett. So Elijah Pritchett, he had his struggles last year. 9 starts at left tackle. They did move him from left tackle to right tackle. They just kept moving him around. Just they weren't really sure where to put him. They finally put him at left tackle, and he wasn't good at first. He kept getting penalties. False starts, holding, whatever, and he allowed many sacks, particularly against Minnesota. That was very noticeable. Pritchett, he wasn't good at first. Yeah, it was maybe good that we got him from Alabama, but I have a couple friends that actually are Alabama fans, and they said, no, Pritchett's not good. Maybe when Rule got him, they were hoping that he would be good and trust the developmental process from Donovan Raiola, which wasn't going to happen. But, that being said, though, Pritchett does have major potential. And I think he just was not consistent at Alabama, and he wasn't consistent for Nebraska. But he definitely improved. He got better at Nebraska. And by the end of the season at the Las Vegas Bowl, he played very well. Him and Justin Evans were definitely two bright spots of the few that were there in the Las Vegas Bowl when we got routed by the Utes. So, yeah, Elijah Pritchett, his strengths are, he has major potential. He's also, his size is a major strength. He's 6'6", 325, that's a big guy. He has good wingspan, which makes sense why he plays at tackle. And then, his weaknesses are, he does have a bit of a problem, between the ears. I'll say that much. He would get in his head, against Maryland, I remember when he got that penalty, he just kept kind of shaking his head, kind of getting down on himself, and that just kind of affected him. And that's not, new. There's nothing new under the sun. That happens to almost every other football player that like just isn't disciplined, so to speak. But it just can happen to anyone, really. So yeah, Elijah Pritchett got a lot of good things going for him. He's gonna be, I think, a pretty darn good player this year. And in the spring game, he balled out. I mean, I remember watching film from him, not just him, like all the linemen. They were absolute fire. And Jeep Wade knows what he's doing. I mean, we finally got an offensive lines coach that knows what he's doing. I mean, who's the last offensive lines coach that Nebraska's had that knew what he was doing? I mean, what? Maybe Pelini's offensive lines coach? I doubt Scott Frost did, or his offensive lines coach knew what he was doing. Then Mike Riley, I mean, I doubt it. So, yeah, Bo Pelini probably. But anyway, that's aside from the point. Pritchett, I think he's gonna, like I said, he should be good. I mean, he just got so many things going for him. I think that just the only thing was that just bad coaching is what killed him last year. But he's improved. He will continue to keep improving, and that should be good for Nebraska. So definitely gonna want to keep an eye on him. Now let's get to Tree Babalade. So Tree Babalade is, man, he was good at South Carolina. There's no other way to put it. He was good. I mean, in Tree, that's just his nickname. It's just because he's a big guy. 6'5", 330 pounds. Size is clearly his advantage here. And also, I mean, he's a good blocker, too. I mean, he is a good blocker. I mean, he only gave up 1 sack. And as a sophomore in the SEC, that's pretty darn good. And he's experienced. So it's not like he just played a couple games and got sat on the bench. Like, no, he was good. He's had plenty of SEC experience, which that is great for Nebraska. I mean, we landed 2 SEC transfers that are actually good. I mean, but Tree Babalade, I think, is the better of Paul Mubenga, who we'll get to in a moment. But Tree Babalade, size, blocking, he's very good. He just has, I think, less experience perhaps than Justin Evans, but I think his ceiling, just like Pritchett, are probably higher. Now, they're going to put him at right tackle, so you should have a pair of very good tackles, both that have come from SEC schools, and both that should be good for Nebraska, and with the right coaching and development, they should be very good. I mean, and they played good in the spring game. I mean, not that it says much because our defensive line was terrible, but we only gave up 1 sack, and that wasn't because of our starters. It was because we had our backups in. So, yeah, Tree Babalade, very, very good, for sure. I mean, we have a very good offensive line. There's no other way to put it. It should be very good. And, I mean, last year, I mean, we had, I'm not going to say it was all bad. It was mostly just the tackles that killed us last year. But because we didn't have a good coach to fix those problems, well, we saw what happened. So, finally having Tree Babalade, or which, when I say Tree Babalade, I mean a right tackle that knows what he's doing, and a good coach like Jeep Wade, which again and again I'll say it, he's a good coach and he should be good for Nebraska. So, Tree Babalade for sure going to be a good player for Nebraska. Then you got Brendan Black from Iowa State. Once again, he's one of those many Iowa State players that just mass exodus after Matt Campbell took the Penn State job. So, Brendan Black, likewise with Tree Babalade, I mean, he's good at run blocking. He's good at pass protection. And he only allowed 2 sacks last year. And he's also, once again, he's a very experienced offensive lineman. They'll probably put him at right guard. I think that's where he's projected to start. But he could play left guard too. Like, he is versatile. I mean, he is, once again, he's another experienced player who has power 4 experience that should be good for Nebraska. And with that development from Jeep Wade, it should definitely be there. I mean, there's no other way to put it. It should be there. And so, Brendan Black, I mean, like Tree Babalade, I think their biggest weakness is just their experience, perhaps. I mean, but Brendan Black, he's going to be a senior. He's, I would say, just as experienced as Justin Evans. I guess the only thing is he played at the Big 12, which is less competitive, but still, powerful experience is definitely important. And I don't think that's going to make too much of a difference come this September when we play Ohio. So, yeah, Brendan Black, good player. So far, I mean, these offensive linemen are going to be very good for Nebraska. Then lastly, we got Paul Mubenga. And Paul Mubenga, he spent 3 years at LSU before transferring to Nebraska. And he, of all of the players, or the offensive linemen that Nebraska has to start, because Paul Mubenga will likely start, and is projected to start at left guard. Paul Mubenga might be the least skilled on them, but that is not an insult on him. He is good. He's a work in progress. He's younger than most of, or than all the linemen. And technically, Babalade is also young. I mean, they could return next year, but like he's younger and just I think less experienced than Babalade, and also Babalade just a lot stronger too. And I think he's slightly taller too, but not that matters. But he's just a lot stronger and just a better player than Paul Mubenga. But that doesn't mean Paul Mubenga is bad. He's still good, and he did good in the spring game. But he's a little bit smaller than the other 4 linemen, but he still should be good for Nebraska. He had some struggles on run blocking. That is one thing for sure noted. But I mean, he's still got a pretty decent amount of snaps at LSU. So that is a factor to take in. I think, yeah, Paul Mubenga should be a good work in progress sort of lineman that I think by next year he'll be a junior, and that's often from the pattern that I've noticed when offensive linemen tend to, or not offensive linemen, all linemen typically break out by their junior year. Because, particularly when you're in the Big Ten, it's hard to just come in as like a freshman or a redshirt freshman, whatever, and just dominate. It doesn't happen too often. Not impossible, but it's rare. And so, Mubenga, they're definitely going to get him probably a little stronger, a little heavier, 325 probably, kind of equal to the rest of these guys. I believe, like I said, he's a work in progress. We've got a good coach. He's still better than, he'll be definitely better than Gunnar Gatula, Tyler Knack, whatever, Elijah Pritchett before he started improving last year. And his pass protection was good. It was his run blocking, and you do need that to be good at the guard position if you want to get decent holes. Because that's what the Big Ten's all about. If you can't stop the run, you can't stop anything in the Big Ten. That's just the truth. If you can't do that, man, oh man, you're going to be in trouble. We saw that with Nebraska last year. And our offensive line's run blocking was not good. We didn't have good run blocking. Justin Evans, I think, was the best at that. Maybe after that, Rocco Spindler or Henry Letowski. After that, it's hard to say. But anyway, so Mubenga, I think he's slightly less inexperienced, not good at run blocking, but still a good pass protecting offensive lineman, and he's a work in progress. He has potential, and he's an athletic lineman. These guys are all athletic linemen. They're good players. Don't think I'm dissing on any of them. They are all good players. I think just because they are very good. Pritchett or not Pritchett. Well, he probably hopefully will be, but Justin Evans, Babalade, these guys are next level. They're just very good, particularly Justin Evans, and then I think Elijah Pritchett will be next level, and I think even Brendan Black will be. Mubenga will be. These are just guys that are works in progress because offensive linemen or defensive linemen also at that are kind of meant to be developed. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, guys, that is it for me today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Did I miss anything, any strength or weakness these linemen are missing? I hope I didn't, but I certainly think that this is going to be, if there's a year for Nebraska to actually have optimism, it's the year where we don't. Because we always have been hyping up a bad Nebraska program, like when Frost was in there or Mike Riley, or even you can fast or rewind back to Bill Callahan, when they hyped him up and we were terrible. But now, when we have a lot of things set in stone that should be good. We have coaches that know what they're doing, finally. So, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But, this should be, the year where Matt Rule can finally do something. It all starts in the trenches. We've never had a good offensive line with Matt Rule. So, it'll be interesting to see what that looks like. And we haven't had a good offensive line since Pelini. So, it'll be interesting to see what that happens. Or what that looks like. And when it happens, when the season rolls around, how we'll look. I think it should be pretty good because this should be a good offensive line. But anyway, guys, I will see you guys later. And until next time, go Big Red, go Matt Rule.